So that's gator number 3. That might be another bigger one. Yep. That's number 4. Sorry, 4.
We're Norelle and Danny. We sold our business in Seattle and decided to become digital nomads. Outfitted with a suboverlander as our home on wheels, we're on an adventure of discovery wherever the road takes us. Subscribe and join our journey meeting new people, seeing amazing things, and helping build new ventures and opportunities. When we're working on the road, there are a couple options. Danny has a little temporary desk set up in the front seat that he uses a lot. If it's raining or I just want to be inside, I often just kind of curl up on the bed right over here. But I'm a little bit more flexible, so I sit cross-legged pretty comfortably. But on sunny days like this, I am anyway, just doing some work out here in the sunshine and also getting in some sun because I'm in Florida and I need to work on my tan and it's great. So yeah.
Jamaican.
I mean, some people would call it an omelet, but I'm not flipping it. It's more of just kind of like a
Scram.
It's a mess of eggs and other food. Can you see it okay? Here.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for making breakfast for me.
I had to convince her. Once I light it up, it always changes her mind.
Smell.
Great. I'm really excited about where Göbekley's going. But I was sitting there on my conference call. Oh wow, there's like a million dragonflies out. And notice this guy flying around. Oh, I hear him. There he is. He's just having fun. I think you did that pass just for me.
Where are we?
We're at the movie theater.
Why?
Because I have a problem. A slight addiction to a really nerdy story that I have to know the end of. But you have watched every episode leading up to tonight.
Well, none of the Clone Wars animated crap.
Yeah. No, we've been on a Star
Say
Wars
crap.
marathon leading up to this, and it is opening day, although it is not opening evening, which was last night. And I tried to avoid all YouTube and Facebook, and my friends who I happened to see their posts, they said it wasn't half bad, and they're kind of critical. So I'm not going to say I have high hopes, but I'm excited.
I say, thank you.
Morning. So Saturday morning, we watched Star Wars last night, and I think I told Joe when I texted him, it checks all the boxes. Yeah, it didn't, floor me or, blow me away or anything. But you know what? It was a good conclusion to the whole thing. I'm really satisfied with. We're at Fort Myers because I have my first investor meeting for Göbekley. This partnership with Brian is going really well. I'm learning a lot. Now it's game time. No gators yet, by the way. And I gotta get dressed and freshened up and go meet this guy and start kicking off the fundraising and raise a bunch of money for this company. That's gator number 3. That might be another bigger one. Yep. That's number 4. Sorry, 4. Alright, all cleaned up and ready for this meeting. Also, it's kind of amazing that more people in Florida aren't walking around with missing limbs, because there's a lot of those bastards out there. I feel like it kind of looks like Africa out here. Oh, hey, cow goes. Just got that savannah type vibe that is kind of cool. I feel like we're on a safari. Just commuting in for the day. So my meeting with BJ went pretty well. Ended up lasting 2.5 hours, and then he came out and saw the rig, and then invited us over to his house to meet his wife and mom for dinner. Mother-in-law, right. So in the meantime, we are killing time by stopping by the Edison and Ford Estates. We knew nothing about this until I just saw it on Google. So we got some big ass trees here, big ass mansion over there, big ass gift shop over here. We will film anything that's interesting. So the estate across the street, right over there, costs $25 a person. It should take about an hour and a half. So we don't have enough time to do it all now, but they have these beautiful gardens and nursery here. And we're just gonna hang out and look at the gift shop and then head over to VJ's house since we got to get going in like 30-40 minutes. Not many butterflies out right now. It's pretty damn windy. So this is all one tree, and these are all roots coming down. It's a banyan tree, and yeah, I guess Edison wanted to see if he could use it to collect latex or rubber or something, but it grew too slowly. And I heard once that supposedly Buddha reached enlightenment underneath one of these guys, and oh yeah, got it tagged. Right there, central trunk. Honestly, I had no idea that Edison even lived here, let alone cared so much about plants. It's pretty cool. We're gonna come back tomorrow though and get the full tour because, like I said, we're short on time today. Morning. We are actually back at the same campsite that we were at yesterday morning. Really an interesting day. I'll put you in a bit, but came back out to this pond looking for gators. I think I found a big one. So honestly, I think that's the same one that was in the middle of the pond yesterday. So I'm not going to count it as number 5. I'm going to count it as 4 again. So yesterday was pretty interesting. Like I said, we were going into Fort Myers because I had an investor meeting. I expected it to be about 1 hour long, and it turned into 10 hours long, actually. Not all of that was shop talk. He actually invited us over to his house, met his wife and his mother-in-law, and then he took us out to dinner, and we just really hit it off. And I know that raising funds is often finding out if you trust the person, if it's the right match and things like that, but it was a different experience, and it was pretty welcome to, you know, at the very least make a new friend out here, and you know, get some other good connections there. So we got back to the campsite late. I mean, not too late, it was 9 o'clock, but it is kind of stormy out here, and in about 2 hours we're expecting a thunderstorm to start, and it's not supposed to stop until about 4 a.m. So we are heading back into Fort Myers. We're probably going to do the Edison Ford Museum, and yeah, see what kind of indoor activities we can figure out for the day.
And then tonight we are going to Creation State Park, which is a little bit south, and we'll be able to rent a canoe and go out to Key Mound, which is where the ancient civilization of Florida used to have their capital.
Yep, you can only get there with a canoe, so we're excited to, like I said, Indiana Jones it. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope that the storm is mostly over by tomorrow when we head out. But if it's not, we may adjust our plans, or we'll just go out in the rain and rough it, which might be...
We're from Seattle, we can handle a little bit of rain.
Yeah, as long as we don't end up with more water inside the boat than outside the boat, we should be fine. So, we'll keep you guys posted. One more thing. This is the only place, I guess, in the U.S. where there are still wild panthers that roam the woods. And we've seen plenty of wildlife. Obviously, the big alligators that we were filming earlier. One big alligator, the other one was pretty small. But we're still hoping that we are going to get to see a panther. But
it's unlikely.
My assumption is if you see the panther, it's already too late. Speaking of wildlife.
So first, if you all remember, if you've been watching, we nearly hit a vulture as we were going down to, what was it?
Grandma's house.
Sutter's Mill.
No, we're leaving Sutter's Mill on the way to Grandma's. Similar situation. What was he? It was a
heron. It was
giant heron.
Big,
good
gray blue heron.
6-7 foot wingspan. Just decided that, when we were driving by, it was the perfect time to cross the road about 8 feet up, and I had to hit the brakes and make sure that I don't kill something the size of a human. So love that Florida wildlife. One thing I wanted to talk about for a minute is, with all the holidays, kind of the common anchor point that they all have is ultimately in their roots, their formation. A lot of it has to do with, it's tied to the winter solstice and the fact that this is the darkest time of the year, but also it's the time where the Earth finally moves back to a position where the northern hemisphere tilts closer back again to the sun. And I think in Western culture, we get really hung up on the cultural holidays around that, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or the more ancient celebrations of solstice, and all the festivities and stuff that happens around it. And we forget that anchor point and how cool it is, just from even a scientific perspective, that there's a certain minute where the Earth hits that point of being as far as it's gonna get, and then it turns back like clockwork every time, and I think that's beautiful. And that happened last night at 11:19, and for the first time I think in my life, that kind of hit me. So I paused the movie that we were watching, which was The Aeronauts, which was a fantastic movie. I expected it to be a fantasy. I'm sure that they took some creative liberties in exactly how that went down. But just the people who were the first to take a hot air balloon up into the stratosphere and actually take measurements and understand and appreciate the Earth and how it works. And so as the clock hit 11:19, I made sure to pause the movie and toast with Norelle and say, Happy Real New Year. Because that is the time that is the actual new year of the Earth, according to the Earth. And I think it's important that we take a moment to recognize the amazing things. And it's just like looking at the stars. So I hope you all think about that. As we hit not just the solstice days, but also the moments of solstice that we all experience together as we're slingshot on this rock around the sun. Looks like we can't go in because it's all set up, but they've got little windows and tops are open so we can look in, and it's all set up for Christmas. Christmas dinner ready to go. Apparently Ford was the one who was really big on these palm trees and made it a thing in Fort Myers to plant as many of these guys as you possibly can. It's a good touch.